You might remember the first time you heard Selena Gomez's voice on the radio. The bright pop melody, the youthful vibrato, the promise of an artist with the world at her feet. She dazzled stages, commanded sold-out arenas, and yet behind the strobe lights and glittering smiles, a quieter story was unfolding, one that has led her to the heartbreaking decision to say goodbye to music. Selena's journey reads like a modern fairy tale, with a twist that no one saw coming. A rising star who discovered that fame can cut as deeply as it sparkles. From her early days on Disney Channel, Selena's trajectory seemed mapped in glitter and possibility. She charmed audiences as a teenage actress, then seamlessly shifted into a chart-topping singer whose albums felt like windows into her soul. Songs like Love You Like a Love Song and Good For You became anthems for millions. Yet even as her fan base swelled to epic proportions, Selena was fighting battles far beyond the spotlight. Battles with her own health, her emotional well-being, and a relentless industry that demanded everything she had left to give. The turning point came in 2015 when Selena revealed she was living with lupus, an autoimmune disease that would upend any sense of control she had. Fatigue became her constant companion, joint pain flared without warning, and the relentless scrutiny of millions only worsened the pressure. She took a hiatus to undergo chemotherapy. Even as she emerged stronger, the memory of that fight lingered like a scar, a silent reminder that her body could betray her at any moment. She learned the fragility of life, and the toll that endless touring schedules and promotional appearances could inflict on a body already in pain. By the time her next album rolled around, fans sensed a shift. The lyrics grew darker, more introspective. What once felt like carefree devotion songs now cut deeper, touching on themes of anxiety, self-doubt, and the weight of expectation. In interviews, Selena spoke candidly about therapy, about the need to find balance, about the voices telling her she still wasn't enough. Her songs felt less like radio fodder, and more like therapy sessions set to music, each track a step toward self-discovery. But even therapy has its limits when you're negotiating blockbuster tours, late-night talk show interviews, and relentless paparazzi. The glossy music videos and carefully curated social posts masked nights of insomnia, waves of panic, and moments when Selena wondered if she could continue. Fans saw the red carpet glamour, few glimpsed the tears backstage, the dizzy spells in hotel suites, the calls to her doctor between rehearsals. Fame had become a cage of gilded bars, beautiful, yes, but restrictive and suffocating in its intensity. She soldiered on, releasing hit after hit, but something was shifting beneath the surface. The machine kept churning, schedules were tightened, and Selena found herself on airplanes more often than in recording studios. She spoke of burnout in hushed tones, of longing for a life beyond the constant noise. Every performance demanded more of her voice and more of her spirit, until there was nothing left but echoes of a version of herself she barely recognized. In 2019, Selena surprised the world again by canceling an entire North American tour. The statement read like a public service announcement. She needed time to focus on her health and happiness. Fans everywhere erupted, some with concern, others with speculation. Social media buzzed with conspiracy theories. Had she lost her voice? Was it another round of treatment? Even in stepping back, Selena couldn't escape the spotlight's glare. Critics wondered if this was a strategic move, a marketing ploy. But for Selena, it was neither ploy nor publicity stunt. It was survival. Then came Rare, her most personal album to date. On it she confronted her demons head-on, singing lines about feeling undeserving of love, about battling inner critics louder than any external foe. The record was hailed as a triumph of authenticity, yet it was also a testament to how close she had come to the edge. Each lyric felt like a heartbeat, fragile and urgent, as though the album itself might shatter if pushed too hard. And now, in 2024, we stand at the moment she calls her final bow. When Selena announced an indefinite hiatus from music, the world collectively held its breath. It was a reversal few anticipated, a global superstar stepping away while still at the top of her game. In heartfelt video messages, she explained that her soul needed rest, that her art needed space to breathe outside the confines of chart expectations. She framed it as a pause to heal, yet her words carried the weight of someone who understood she might never return. What makes this moment so deeply heartbreaking is the contrast between what we've come to expect from pop stardom and what Selena is actually living. We're used to epic comebacks and triumphant returns. We celebrate the artist who conquers adversity and rises again. But Selena's story challenges that narrative. She's not vanishing for a quick rebound. She's choosing stillness over spectacle, grace over glory, health over hustle. It's a radical departure from the 24-hour news cycle that demands constant reinvention and upward trajectory. In stepping back, Selena opened a new chapter devoted to causes close to her heart: mental health advocacy, philanthropic work, and personal growth. She's funded research for lupus treatments, launched campaigns to destigmatize therapy, and spoken bluntly about living with chronic illness. Rather than hiding behind polished press releases, she's inviting us into her recovery process, exposing her vulnerabilities with a courage that outshines any stage performance. So today, we dive deep into the heartbreaking reasons Selena Gomez is saying goodbye to music. We'll examine pivotal moments, from her Disney Channel origins to the moment she canceled tour dates. We'll unpack the industry pressures that prioritize profit over people, and we'll celebrate the profound bravery it takes to step away from an empire you helped build. Along the way, we'll hear from experts on chronic illness and mental health, fans who've found solace in her lyrics, and friends who witnessed her struggle in private. This isn't just a celebrity story, it's a cautionary tale for anyone who's ever sacrificed self for success. It's a testament to the power of saying enough is enough, even when the world expects you to keep giving. As we begin this journey, prepare to see Selena Gomez, not as a pop icon frozen in glossy magazine spreads, but as a woman making a choice that resonates far beyond the charts. Behind the glitz lies an emotional furnace that burned her confidence to ash. Touring with chronic illness meant unpredictable flare-ups at every single sold-out show, glaring. Imagine stepping on stage feeling your energy drain, as thousands cheered your name wildly. Each choreography routine became a negotiation with a body that rebelled against exhaustion, and every vocal run could trigger debilitating fatigue moments later, unexpectedly without warning. Selena's battle unfolded away from cameras, hidden by smiles and shimmering stage lights. Studio executives pushed deadlines harder than Selena could physically and mentally tolerate daily. They measured her worth by chart positions, merchandise sales, ignoring her human cost. Marketing teams demanded new singles every few months to sustain her pop momentum. Concert promoters scheduled back-to-back shows with little regard for her lupus-related physical limitations. Managers insisted on television appearances, despite her doctor's warnings about serious health risks. Selena felt trapped between contractual obligations and her body's desperate cries for rest. Beyond physical pain, Selena wrestled daily with crushing anxiety that darkened her spirit. Nightly insomnia robbed her of sleep, intensifying emotional wounds she struggled to heal. Therapy sessions became a lifeline, offering tools to navigate self-doubt and fear daily. However, social media magnified her insecurities with every scrutinizing comment and harsh comparison. Fans praised her openness, yet constant vulnerability came at a steep emotional price. She wondered if authenticity would consume her creativity or set her soul free. Throughout this turmoil, Selena leaned on her inner circle for love and support. Childhood friend Francia Reza donated a kidney, forging a bond that transcended confines. Her family implored her to prioritize health over headlining world tours indefinitely gracefully. But contractual obligations and loyal fans made stepping back feel like betrayal times. Her younger sister struggled watching her navigate illness without public fanfare or pity. Through candid video diaries, Selena offered glimpses of wellness victories and crushing setbacks. On red carpets, she smiled effortlessly, concealing agony that most photographers never captured. Glamorous interviews glossed over her trembling hands and wavering breath behind polished exteriors. The spotlight often felt like a scorching beam highlighting every vulnerability. Unforgiving, relentless, she became adept at masking despair with charisma, trading authenticity for survival instincts. Fans whispered rumors about diva behavior, unaware of silent struggles fueling her actions. When candid fans spotted pain in her eyes, probing queries became unbearable burdens. During reflective retreats, Selena rediscovered music's true purpose beyond fame and fleeting fortune. She embraced songwriting as therapy, pouring pain into melodies that resonated deeply emotionally. Collaborations with thoughtful producers allowed space for vulnerability and creative collaborative experimentation boldly. Her artistry matured, trading high-gloss production for sincere, intimate, raw, stripped-down acoustic arrangements. Critics hailed this shift as reinvention, though Selena viewed it as honest survival. Each chord became a testament to perseverance, a declaration of triumph over affliction. When Selena announced her hiatus, fans flooded social media with empathy and support. Thousands shared personal stories of overcoming adversity inspired by her unwavering, courageous honesty. Yet speculation swirled: would she return stronger, or was this an irreversible farewell? Conspiracy theorists spun rumors of secret albums and surprise comeback tours looming ahead. Yet Selena's absence uncovered unsettling truths about an industry fueled by relentless demands. Industry insiders whispered that her break would spark re-evaluation of touring industry-wide standards. Dr. Ramirez, a renowned rheumatologist, emphasizes that continuous stress exacerbates frequent autoimmune flare-ups. Dr. Chen notes chronic illness often triggers anxiety, depression, and mood dysregulation episodes. Music therapist Laura Kim believes songwriting can function as a profound healing modality. Entertainment analyst Marcus Lee warns that labels prioritize artist welfare over quarterly profits. Insights frame Selena's choice not as weakness, but as courageous boundary setting for self-care. This expert consensus reframes her departure as a vital act of self-preservation. Advocacy. Tribute videos surged online, weaving clips of joy and sorrow into poignant montages. Hashtags like #ThankYouSelena and #SelenaStrong trended globally as fans offered messages of hope. Online forums became support networks where strangers bonded over her healing, inspirational lyrics. Memes blending her animated smiles with candid backstage shots revealed profound collective heartache. Influencers praised her bravery, urging followers to advocate for mental health, chronic care. This outpouring underscored the bond between Selena and generations shaped by her transparency. Selena's journey reveals the hidden fractures beneath pop stardom's dazzling veneer every day. Her choice to exit music highlights the importance of honoring bodies and hearts. It challenges us to redefine success beyond record-breaking numbers and relentless, enduring schedules. Her departure invites reflection on how we support public figures facing private adversities. As audiences, we bear responsibility to honor boundaries and advocate for holistic well-being. Next, we will explore Selena's philanthropic projects and the lasting legacy she creates. Selena's philanthropic journey took flight just when her music career hit the pause button. As she stepped back from studio recording and world tours, she turned her attention to causes that once existed on the margins of her public persona. She launched the Rare Impact Fund in early 2020 to address mental health crises for young people. Partnering with experts in psychology and community care, Selena ensured every dollar would fund accessible counseling and peer support programs. Rare Impact reinvested record label profits into free digital therapy sessions and training for school counselors across California. Within months, her fund supported over 50 high schools, offering workshops that empowered students to share their feelings without shame. She personally attended many of these events, sharing her own experiences in front of students to break through the stigma surrounding mental health. With her trademark vulnerability, she described late-night panic episodes and how therapy became a sanctuary during dark times. Beyond mental health, Selena maintained a steadfast commitment to lupus research after her 2015 diagnosis. She partnered with the Lupus Research Alliance, funding clinical trials for autoimmune therapies that offered real hope to thousands of patients. Through benefit concerts and social media fundraisers, she raised millions for scientific teams working on groundbreaking treatments. Even during her most challenging flare-ups, she recorded short videos urging donations and thanking supporters with unfiltered sincerity. In parallel, Selena joined forces with UNICEF to amplify her voice on global childhood education initiatives. Traveling abroad, she visited schools in Latin America and Southeast Asia, witnessing firsthand the transformative power of community-based learning. She documented those visits in a mini-documentary series, blending intimate interviews with passionate advocates for education and equality. The series earned critical praise for its raw portrayal of obstacles faced by teachers and students in underserved regions. Contrast that with her early years under bright stage lights, and you see the profound shift in her priorities. Selena no longer measured success by platinum records, but by lives uplifted through literacy and health awareness. In championing these causes, she challenged the typical celebrity brand model that hinges solely on self-promotion and product endorsements. Instead, she transformed her platform into a bridge between marginalized communities and resources they desperately needed. Her impact extended to digital communities where fans rallied to adopt healthy habits inspired by her transparency. Online challenges encouraged mindfulness, journaling and peer check-ins, all under the umbrella of #rare wellness. Fans shared stories of improved coping skills and reduced isolation, crediting Selena for creating a culture of mutual support. Perhaps most revolutionary was her collaboration with mental health apps, offering premium access to therapy tools for free. By negotiating bulk subscriptions, she ensured affordability for low-income families, often excluded from digital care. Her advocacy caught the attention of policymakers, prompting discussions about insurance coverage for mental health services. State representatives invited her to speak at the Capitol, where she delivered an impassioned plea to modernize healthcare access. Footage of that speech went viral, showcasing her ability to command attention not with pop hooks, but with moral urgency. In studio sessions before her hiatus, producers noted she favored stripped-down arrangements that allowed her messages to resonate more deeply. She co-wrote songs about community resilience and shared royalties with local nonprofit coalitions. One unreleased demo described on her website reads like a communal anthem, urging listeners to stand together against loneliness. That track alone inspired over 30 fan-led listening parties worldwide, with participants raising money for local mental health centers. Transitioning from global superstar to grassroots advocate, Selena redefined what it means to use fame responsibly. Critics who once questioned her sincerity now praised her for daring to align her public identity with genuine service. Her legacy extends beyond sold-out stadiums. It lives in community centers, in the quiet courage of teenagers seeking help, and in families finding hope. As the dust settled on her final tour dates, journalists and fans wondered what her lasting imprint would look like. Would she return to music armed with richer perspectives, or would she chart an entirely new course in activism and philanthropy? The answer remains unsure, but the seeds she planted during her hiatus have already begun to flourish. Every single time someone reaches out for therapy, clicks to donate, or attends a community workshop, Selena's influence echoes louder than any stadium roar. In the next section, we'll explore what this radical shift means for the music industry at large, and how one artist's courage can spark systemic change. Selena Gomez's decision to pause her music career sent shockwaves through an industry accustomed to relentless momentum and instant comebacks. Record labels scrambled to adjust release calendars, marketing departments shifted focus to other artists, and tour promoters re-evaluated stadium bookings. Suddenly, the blueprint for success, continuous streaming numbers, social media engagement, endless world tours, seemed unsustainable if an icon like Selena could step away indefinitely. This groundbreaking move forced executives to confront uncomfortable questions. What happens if more artists demand real breaks for mental and physical health? Can the industry survive without its superstars on a non-stop circuit? Or will we see a paradigm shift where humane schedules become the new standard? Contrast this scenario with the typical pop star narrative. We've witnessed Adele vanish from the charts before returning with record-shattering albums. Justin Bieber announced hiatuses only to spring surprise singles months later, yet none commanded as much transparent vulnerability as Selena did. She framed her departure not as a marketing tactic, but as a deeply personal choice rooted in self-preservation. That distinction matters. It introduces a radical transparency into a field built on crafted personas and PR-managed setbacks. Fans no longer view an artist's absence as mysterious hype. They perceive it as a genuine struggle deserving of respect and space. The ripple effect could redefine how celebrity culture treats public figures as whole people with real needs. Behind the scenes, producers are rethinking contract clauses that strictly penalize scheduling gaps. Tour managers propose instituting mandatory rest periods after every leg of a multi-month tour. Streaming platforms debate carrots and incentives for artists who voluntarily offset album releases with off-cycles devoted to wellness. Agents quietly lobby for contractual language guaranteeing healthcare coverage and mental health days. Music business schools are adding modules on ethical artist management, acknowledging that successful careers can't flourish on burnout. Selena's brave step has become a case study in why profitability must coexist with compassion, and how sustainable artistry depends on balanced human resources. Amid these industry tremors, fans find themselves at a crossroads too. Will they continue to demand new music on a prescribed timeline, or can they embrace slow art and patient creativity? Streaming algorithms are under pressure to adjust playlist frequency to avoid punishing artists for taking breaks. Social media communities are experimenting with new hashtags like #MusicOnMyTerms, celebrating the idea that art deserves time and respect beyond quarterly earnings reports. Fans now act not just as consumers but as advocates for artist health. They're debating the length of acceptable hiatuses and discussing how streaming services might support artists financially during downtime. In this evolving culture, fandom transcends chart peaks and becomes a force for systemic change. Experts in entertainment law emphasize that Selena's move could rewrite precedent. Attorney Maria Alvarez explains that precedent-setting cases in other sectors like tech have already forced corporations to adopt 4-day workweeks or unlimited paid leave policies. Why shouldn't the music industry follow suit? If employees in Silicon Valley can push back for mental health benefits, high-profile artists should wield similar leverage. Meanwhile, performance psychologists like Dr. Allison Green highlight that rigorous tour schedules risk long-term cognitive and physical damage. Citing studies of cognitive decline related to chronic stress, she urges labels to integrate psychological support into every phase of production, from recording to touring. The call is clear: protect the artist as you would any valuable asset. This evolution also challenges fans to redefine loyalty. True fan support now includes championing appropriate rest and advocating for fair touring conditions. Crowdfunding initiatives have even sprouted, with some fan clubs donating to Selena's Rare Impact Fund to underscore the link between art and advocacy. Others are petitioning major record labels to include health clauses in standard artist agreements. Meanwhile, philanthropic partnerships between music festivals and mental health organizations are in discussions, with Selena's influence acting as a catalyst for pilot programs offering on-site counseling at large events. The boundaries between entertainment and welfare blur, creating a more holistic ecosystem. As we witness this transformation, we must ask ourselves, are we ready for a music industry that acknowledges a human limit? Will we celebrate art born from sustainable practices, or cling to outdated models demanding endless output? Selena Gomez's bold exit offers a blueprint: put wellness first, and trust in creativity's enduring power. It reminds us that music transcends algorithms and quarterly profits. It thrives in spaces where artists feel valued, protected, and understood. And as the industry recalibrates, her legacy grows not just through melodies, but through compassion and reform. What comes next will define the future of music culture and artist empowerment. Will the industry embrace this new chapter courageously and sustainably? Only time will tell. Even as whispers of her hiatus spread like wildfire across social platforms, the fan reaction revealed an emotional tapestry. Thousands shared tearful video responses. Dozens of fan art collages emerged, blending Selena's performance stills with heartfelt messages. Contrast that fervor with her early fanbase, teenagers swapping mixtapes and handwritten notes, and you sense how the digital generation deepened their bond with her authenticity. Social media outpourings carried a fragile energy, collective sadness interwoven with gratitude for every musical memory she'd gifted them. Each hashtag thread became a virtual vigil, a testament to how one artist's voice could resonate across millions of hearts. In the weeks after her announcement, media shifted from speculation to respectful acknowledgement, with news outlets running in-depth features rather than gossip columns. Major publications flew journalists to San Antonio, where Selena recorded her last album, capturing behind-the-scenes moments of vulnerability and resolve. Contrast that with tabloids spinning sensational headlines about clandestine feuds or cryptic social posts. Instead, these respected platforms highlighted the courage behind her choice, quoting her own words, "I need to heal before I can sing again." They framed her story as a cultural moment, a ratings ploy. Exclusive interviews with her mother and best friends revealed conversations that underscored one truth: Selena Gomez's farewell was never about drama or mystery. It was about genuine self-love and survival. Fans weren't the only ones moved by Selena's revelation. Fellow artists issued statements lauding her bravery, from Taylor Swift acknowledging personal boundaries to Billie Eilish praising her willingness to shed light on chronic illness. Contrast this camaraderie with the usual industry blur where colleagues compete for chart positions. Here Selena's peers stood united, sharing stories of their own battles with fame's toll. Producers paused album sessions to send notes of encouragement, while songwriting partners offered to save collaborations for whenever Selena felt ready. Even labels for deadlines softened their approach, offering flexible schedules and wellness resources. In moments of vulnerability, a new solidarity emerged, suggesting that an individual's choice can ripple through an entire community, transforming competitive arenas into spaces of empathy and collective care, and foster long-term cultural shift. As the world grapples with Selena's absence, the narrative around fame and health continues to evolve. Contrast this with past moments when stars fell silent and fans were left guessing, often fueling rumors instead of understanding. Today her choice sparks scholarly debate in music therapy circles, with research proposals exploring the healing potential of hiatus. Universities are offering workshops titled Rest as Resistance, using Selena's story to illustrate how pauses can enhance creative longevity. Mental health advocates cite her as a case study in empowerment, arguing that her decision normalizes prioritizing well-being over productivity. This paradigm shift is reshaping how musicians approach their careers, teaching them to negotiate contracts with wellness clauses and to build support teams before tours. In this context, Selena's farewell becomes less an ending than a bold invitation for everyone in the music ecosystem to reimagine success. Beyond industry mechanics and academic discourse, lies a more intimate question: what happens to Selena's music now? Contrast the silence left by her break with the ongoing chatter about surprise releases and nostalgic revival tours. Streaming platforms have curated Selena Moments playlists to honor her legacy, while artists remix her unfinished demos into lo-fi tributes. Bloggers analyze every lyric for clues about her next chapter. Meanwhile, music supervisors report a spike in licensing inquiries for her past hits, from television soundtracks to commercials, proving her work continues to echo in popular culture. This enduring presence highlights a bittersweet truth: even in silence, Selena's art speaks volumes, reminding us that a heartfelt goodbye can reverberate far longer than any encore. As fans debate whether this departure signals a permanent farewell or a temporary retreat, Selena's words offer the final contrast. "Music has always been my home, but right now my heart needs a different stage," she shared in her statement. These poignant words linger like a melody unfinished, inviting hope and yearning. They underscore a fundamental lesson: art can be put on pause, but its echoes endure. Whether she steps back behind a piano, returns with a surprise EP, or focuses entirely on other passions, her legacy remains intact. And if history is any guide, when Selena Gomez does choose to sing again, she will do so on her terms, stronger, wiser, and with an authenticity that transcends every chart-topping hit. Our admiration for Selena's courage holds a mirror to our own lives, challenging us to pause where we push too hard. Contrast the roar of applause with serene silence. As we celebrate her strength, we might ask, where will we follow her example, daring to whisper enough and embrace renewal? Now, as the curtain falls on this chapter of Selena's life, we face a crucial question: what comes next, for her, for the music industry, and for all of us who followed high and low? Her courageous decision to step away from the microphone illuminates deeper truths about ambition, health, and the rhythms we allow ourselves. Gone are the relentless studio deadlines and dizzying world tours. In their place emerges space to breathe, to reflect, and to reimagine success on compassionate terms. Selena's story invites us to question our own life leads. How often have we overridden our inner warnings for the sake of appearances? In her silence, we hear an anthem for balanced living. We learn that true artistry thrives when creativity is nurtured, not exploited. The pause she chose disrupts the myth that we burn brighter when we burn out. Instead, dying embers can spark a slower, steadier flame capable of lasting warmth and profound light. Her rare impact fund stands as living proof of how music can metamorphose into meaningful action. By channeling her fame into mental health initiatives and humanitarian projects, she turned personal pain into collective healing. Fans took notice, sharing stories of newfound resilience. Schools introduced emotional wellness classes under the RARE banner. Lupus research received unprecedented funding. Education programs gained new champions. Each of these outcomes signals that a single artist's departure can ignite countless fires of hope in diverse communities. Contrast this with the conventional pop machine that feeds on output, singles staggered weeks apart, image reinventions marketed as fresh eras, social feeds curated to perfection. That system leaves little room for human complexity or healing. Selena's choice unmasks the potential for an art form built on empathy and trust. It shows us a blueprint for a nurturing creative economy, where fans and artists co-create a sustainable cycle, giving space for growth and gratitude rather than mere consumption. Industry veterans now reference Selena's hiatus as a turning point in boardroom conversations. Agents propose guest lectures at music academies on balancing artistry and self-care. Promoters pilot rest lounges backstage at festivals, offering guided meditation and therapy pods. Streaming platforms test features that distribute earnings to artists during sabbaticals, and record labels draft protocols for wellness check-ins before every contract signing. These changes may seem small, but they represent seismic shifts in an ecosystem resistant to anything beyond chart positions. As Selena herself reminded us in her farewell message, "I am more than my vocals and my stage." Those simple words resonate as a liberation anthem across generations. They urge creatives everywhere to claim their narratives, unbound by industry calendars. They remind us that self-care is not selfish. Instead, it is a radical act of creation, laying fertile ground for new artistry to bloom. When individuals honor their needs, they unlock deeper wells of expression, authenticity, and enduring influence. Selena's farewell transcends the music itself. It becomes a manifesto for humanity. It affirms that the truest notes are found in vulnerability, that the loudest applause can linger in silence. As fans, we carry her legacy every time we choose boundaries over burnout, wellness over warp speed productivity. It reverberates when we check on friends, mentor emerging talents, or simply offer a moment of listening. Every act of compassion echoes her choice and honors the heart behind the art. In the annals of pop history, breakups with music are rare, and tinged with comeback rumors. Yet still, Selena's exit feels definitive by its very authenticity. She wrote her final verse not to create suspense, but to craft solace. She gave up center stage to stand beside those who need healing most, translating stardom into service. Through that act, she teaches that sometimes the greatest songs aren't those sung on stage, but those lived in acts of care. So, as you press pause on this story, remember that every note Selena left behind carries lessons in resilience. Her departure invites us to champion self-awareness and to rethink the conditions under which art is made. It beckons us to rewrite the script on success, valuing health as highly as hits. And it urges us to consider what might your own creative journey look like if you set boundaries with the same courage. Thank you for joining this journey through the heartfelt reasons behind Selena Gomez's choice to say goodbye to music. May her story inspire your own acts of care and compel the industry to embrace reform. If you've been moved, share this video to spread awareness and spark conversations. And remember, real change often starts with a single pause. Until next time, let us honor art by honoring the artist, and echo Selena's message through every compassionate action we take.